You can call it.
My question was, did you think of any other way to do it? I kind of checked to do it that way, if you want to do it differently, if you're there, I think this would work.
No, this is good the way that you've got it set up.
So you didn't say house.
So, I think Bruce asked quite a few questions answered, and Bruce, you plan out the stuff I sent you.
Did I what?
Did you print what I
You must
sent
have
you?
been able to write it in.
Did you print?
No, I did not print it.
I mean, it'd be nice.
Did you go there?
No, Debbie is gone.
All
I
right.
was talking now.
Here. Here,
Well,
call
Bruce, why don't you go ahead
Oh,
and
he's gonna be on the phone.
just not generally what you wrote, to start, I would recommend, maybe go to the hearing page, and directly everything is posted there, and start at the top, and just, we'll have to take some notes on answers to have it written, because Bruce and I both wrote some answers up, but I'm not gonna, say, publish necessarily all those answers, unless the group agrees.
All right.
So I'll go over to the public hearing for April 2nd.
Okay, go to the public hearing for April 2nd. Okay. He's there.
Okay. Bruce, did you bring your computer tonight?
Yes, I did.
Okay. If you could go and open up your email,
I can't get my email from here, Eric.
go ahead, Bruce.
I can't get my email from here.
Bruce can't get his email from here.
Okay. Bruce, you have the password for the Clifton Pt1 handy.
For the Gmail account?
Is that a yes?
For the Gmail account?
Yes.
I think I have it.
I don't have it on this. I have an email off this.
Forward that over there. And then I would recommend forwarding that email over to Bruce.
Yeah.
Have something about the first question for John included.
Okay. Bruce is gonna send you the password.
But it won't do me any good because I can't get my email from here.
Okay. Bruce, yes.
I believe, did Bruce say yes, he does have the password?
No, it won't do him any good because he still can't open his emails from here. Yes.
Bruce has the password for the Clifton Pt1 account.
I think I've got it.
I do not have it with me here. It's only in my email account at home, and I can only get my email at home.
Bruce, do you get a text message?
Yes.
Yes, he can.
Okay, I will send you a text message in a few minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead and start talking about the first question.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and start talking about the first question. Would a gas turbine similar to the one in VZ be allowed?
That's the stuff that he made notes of, and I didn't even think about printing it off and bringing it in. I didn't make a copy of it. He did it while he was...
I assume you have it uploaded.
Yeah, he didn't upload it, so... I don't remember what he wrote about it.
Those are questions there, right?
Right. He had a pretty good answer written, but as far as I can tell from the ordinance, I don't believe, as it is right now, that you could put one in town.
Well, maybe given the complexities of that issue, maybe that's something that should be a phase 2 of this process.
Yeah.
In other words, go ahead and deal with what we're familiar with right now, and then at a follow-on sessions discuss. Is that gas turbine versus,
The only
Well,
problem,
and the other thing, I do remember one of the things he did mention in it is gas turbines require water and lots of it. And there really isn't any place in Clifton where you could get the necessary water for cooling or running it.
and another problem with that be, is when they wanted to bring the gas lines to Clifton, everybody put up such a, so that they never put the gas lines through, so they have to run all the gas lines through.
Yeah, so it's pretty much a moot point. It really wouldn't be practical to put in town.
you couldn't put it in one of the ponds or lakes?
You would cause some real problems, I think, with the
Shoreline.
heating of the pond and the shoreline if you,
In his lifetime, didn't have that.
You have to have a river then.
yeah, because you've got to have a lot of water.
So
Gerald, does Eric have the answers to this with him?
He probably does.
He could send it my phone. I got a smartphone. I mean, if
They
you
were
want to
fairly
send it-
long answers. That's right. He sent them to you.
I mean, he could send him as an email, and I can open up the email here.
Ah,
Eric,
you want to get with him and
okay,
okay, that's to get into the email
Yep.
or Gmail.
Yeah, that's the same one. But
Okay.
I'm not sure how I get to it here, I guess.
Bill is here tonight. Bill said that you can,
Observer.
as an observer, but he said that you can send him all the information on his phone
Well, to my email account.
for his email account, and he can open it on his phone.
I just forwarded Bruce, I just texted Bruce the password.
Okay.
In case I'm broadcasting, that's, I'm gonna do that. Just reloaded.
Okay, which one are we looking at, Eric?
Is
Hang
this
on a second.
attached file with answers for John Williams? I think that's,
That's what we're looking for.
yeah, I don't use, is this the attachment here?
I sent the account information and password to Bill's phone as well. So you need to go to gmail.com.
Yep, we'll get it on the big screen right now.
Is this, here it is. Okay, I think we're in.
Yep, we've got the information in front of us.
So, looks like,
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, he was able to, put it on, get it on the, Clifton's computer, and put it up on the big screen.
so,
All right. What do you have? I wrote answers to those questions.
Okay,
so,
we've got the one about quarries up there right now.
Yeah, the other one's further down.
I'm sorry,
And the other one, the first question on his site is further down.
first one being,
Gas turbines.
gas turbine. This
Okay.
type of activity is allowed only as a tier 3 modern high impact issue coming to mind is use of steam turbines lacking access to water.
Yeah.
typically fossil, okay, if there's another method to accomplish this, it'd be good to know. This activity is not easily permitted in Clifton outside the
And
portion.
you're looking at the 50%
Yeah,
environmental.
sorry?
So that's just that one paragraph.
That's
That's
just
it, one
for
paragraph.
for gas turbines, basically,
Saying no.
it's pretty much impractical in Clifton. But yeah, it would be tier 3, moderate or high,
Yeah,
if somebody could figure out a way to do it.
But more thinking about the pond issue, yeah, that'd be all kinds of legalities and shorelines and.
My guess is because of the heating effect of using that much cooling water, you would be hard pressed to use any pond in Clifton
yeah.
and getting it by the,
In other words, shouldn't, at this
Okay.
point, we consider it a non-issue?
We are all we like the answer that you gave. We was all talking about that, the same thing, before we put it up on the screen, so.
Right, so, I mean, one of the problems we have is when we wrote the ordinance the first time through, we just put quite a few things in there, that we were intending to be retroactive, it just didn't work out there. And we talked about it about 2 months ago for a couple other, things, but, we never really addressed it. Then when John asked the question the other day, I looked it up, and I went back through it, looked at it again. I mean, this is definitely an issue for people right now.
Yeah.
so,
Okay, why don't we go up to the top of the page and look at the
on floor.
chorus.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If you go to section 14 or article 14 or look, you'll see what the problem is.
okay.
Yeah, looking at it, really well.
Mobile home.
Yeah, we're getting Article 14 out right now.
Something's go.
Yeah, so what do you think of his proposed changes to language?
Yeah,
And then the issue is, we did not, for whatever reason, I don't really remember exactly why, but we did not retroactively apply this to campgrounds. We didn't retroactively apply it to junkyards. We only applied it to, the gravel pits and mobile home parks. And, kind of looking at it in terms of fairness, was that a fair thing to do? And then we didn't enforce it anyway, the town didn't enforce it.
yeah, I understand.
So do we want to address this in the future? Put these provisions in at this time?
So,
Why not?
May as well correct these 2 areas at this time.
Why don't we do it now?
Okay, so that takes care of the quarries.
yeah,
And I'll bring it down to the next.
we're gonna do the corrective English on this one.
Right, well, I know we need to get it checked out, because the other thing is, I don't want to identify the town to, I don't want the town to get in trouble either for not doing it. This would create a lot of problems for us if we don't do this.
Yeah,
Okay, let's let's come down to the 50 unit.
We spend more time talking about this if you want, or we can just go to the next question.
No, we're going to the next question right now.
50
So the next thing we're only talking about was the gas turbines.
Yeah, we've already talked about them.
Okay, do you guys agree with this gas turbine answer?
Yes, we did.
Okay, what is the next?
Is
What do you want to talk about next?
the 50-person retirement home.
Okay, I'm up on the screen now.
All right. Now, couldn't you do this under a major subdivision?
Well, not really, because if you did like a traditional major subdivision, you know, they're gonna design for land lots, so I guess technically you could do it, maybe you could.
Yeah.
But it's an institutional use. You could put 50 lots in, you know, but then, I mean, it's not gonna be a nursing home.
That's right.
The other problem,
The issue is the institutional use out in the zone.
there's another problem with the ordinance, I think, as written. I'm not sure if we allow anything beyond either 4 or 6 unit buildings, period.
You guys are gonna have to interpret, but I can't hear anything. The only person I can hear speaking on this phone call is you, Carol.
Yeah. He was saying that we've only got a one for 4 or 6 unit. We don't have anything larger.
Right.
I think we should leave this to be addressed in the future, because I think we're gonna get into a lot of questions on this issue.
He was saying that we ought to leave this for the future, because there's gonna be a lot of upbringing, a lot of questions about this.
This will require some fairly
It
major.
could be, I mean, I think all of these are a matter of making some changes to the tables.
Wasn't there a lot of state licensing that goes with that?
Yeah, I think it's more than just a table though, because pretty much all of our definitions and all the ordinance was written around preventing anything larger than a 4 or maybe a 6 unit building.
They was wondering about state licensing and all that, because they were saying that the ordinances are built around either, a 6 unit or smaller.
Usually something that would be the state would be funding it.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're gonna have to address the amount of land you're gonna need
Unit,
for it.
every room is a unit, it's like a family unit.
Yeah.
More like, you know, a cafeteria, you know, a place to take care of people.
Well, this right here is it's a retirement home, not a nursing home. This is where you get your own.
It's still assisted living, okay, so, yeah, so there's some assistance in there. Maybe we should leave it, but we should work on this, like, anyway, this needs to be worked on in the next 12 months. This is definitely a big oversight.
Yeah.
Want to do type of development that the town could use. And we have older people in town who are gonna have to move into Brewer or something like that, you know, if we can't do this. And if we had something like this now, you know, what it would actually entail would be, you know, we would be able to employ probably at least one position, you know, 1 or 2 positions assistants, maybe even 3 position assistants, you know, probably at least, 10 licensed practical nurses, that level of nursing or CNAs, all right? It would be probably at least, 2 or 3 cooks. When you're talking about, gas like this, something that would actually be, beneficial, and it would be like educational, levels that people have in the community and skills people already have. This is, a really good opportunity for us.
Yes, it would. Because Eddington has got a couple of these smaller units like this.
Yeah, basically, we agree, but we feel it should be dealt with in the next 12 months, as you just said, rather than spending time on it now, because we think there's going to be more than just minor changes to the ordinance to properly implement it.
All right, well, we made a ban item, now we have documentation for it, we can post this as an answer, and then, it'll be captured.
Yeah,
Okay,
All right,
that's all.
dance hall,
That's all.
And is this with or without liquor license, or?
Well, as of right now, they couldn't get a liquor license in Clifton.
But if you approve the Boy Scout, would that be a?
Yeah, but right now, they technically, the select board has, without knowing it, been breaking the law by giving them permission to sell liquor.
right now the discussion is about the liquor license and all that, and of course Clifton don't have a state license yet, so.
I think this is another item that we should look at over the next 12 months.
Closed.
And Bruce says that we ought to look at this one too in the next 12 months.
Because I think there's more to it than just
So we got time to really look at it and
deciding.
we can do that, we can probably get this, these two items, on the spring back, town meeting, these shouldn't be that controversial.
no.
All right, we can go back to the website.
Okay. Okay, is that all for this one?
That's
Yeah,
all
that's kind of
for,
it. I think we don't really have to give an answer to John for the sawmill. I wrote that in there because it was one of my notes, but that's what it was, one of our answers for the comment.
Yeah. Okay, what are the next set of questions and answers, please?
Jared Cruz, I think Bruce has some suggestions.
yeah, I've got that here, we need to, okay, for Jared True, the demonstration of the sound test, they were asking for it next week,
Yeah,
and I figure it will take about 15 minutes to do a demonstration. I've actually been practicing something to make it a little bit more informative than what I did at the previous meeting, showing
Okay.
the effect of wind on the actual measurement.
Bruce says that he's gonna do a performance next week at the next meeting, at the next hearing. They take about 15 minutes and he'll have a good demonstration.
That sounds good.
Okay, now, as for the 100 kilowatt wind turbine requirements seem more restrictive than the large wind turbines, and the sound is restricted to property lines. And are they more restrictive, and why is sound regulated at the property line for the 100 kilowatt and at 4,000 feet for large wind turbines? And my answer is on here, so we're gonna have to go to the,
Okay. And
open up the file that says land use. Now come down, open up wind power. Now go to small wind turbines. Nope, down, yes. And bring up a question from Jared True.
okay, Bruce has given a demonstration now actually given a response to the Jared True's question.
Okay. If Bruce emails it to me, I can probably post it.
Well, can't even email it to you from here.
Okay, he'll email it to you later on once he gets home.
Okay.
You can mark it
Can you forward that from him?
So, let's see here. I get
Well,
back-
that's a file right there, whether he can attach that file to an email to, we'll have it on the site before the end of the night. Because I'll email it to him when we're done here. basically trying to answer his points, the rationale behind the existing land use ordinance for small wind turbines. When this was originally written, there were certain assumptions made, and quite frankly, that is the nature of it. Because of their much smaller size, sound emissions would not be a problem. If sound levels were high, they would be masked by local ambient sound. Again, these were assumptions. Many other ordinances regulating wind turbines at the time we originally wrote this applied few, if any, restrictions to small wind turbines. Some ordinances completely exempted them from any regulation at all. Public sentiment appears to support small wind turbines, especially residential units, and many people who are strongly opposed to large or commercial wind farms actually support or even encourage small residential turbines. The assumptions were made that most small wind energy systems would be located on residential properties with the intent to reduce or replace that residence's electric power consumption, and that these small turbines should be subject to a low level of regulation. Okay, general discussion. It's now apparent that these small systems and their regulation should be reevaluated in light of all the new knowledge. The small turbines are just as subject to icing and ice throw as large ones. For this reason, setbacks should be reevaluated with regard to safety. Turns out many of the small wind turbines produce high levels of sound, and I'll bring up these two attachments here in just a second. Summary of the data, page 13, which we will show you in a second, of acoustic tests of small wind turbines, is a chart showing sound power of several small wind turbines, and you can see the levels vary from 73.1 dBA to a high of 101.9, and I didn't even include the 112.2 for one older model because it appears to no longer be sold. Compare these noise levels with the 103.5 sound power level from the Vestas B90s, a megawatt turbine. The Excels are 10 kilowatt turbines, size commonly used for residential installations. Has a measured sound power of 90.7 to 101.5. In effect, our existing ordinance pretty much bans them unless you've got a huge lot, and I mean huge. In fact, if you look at the acoustic characteristics, which will bring that one up as well, to get down to the regulations in our existing ordinance, you have to have almost 1,200 feet from the turbine to your property edge. So, we'll bring up those two things to show. Basically, my conclusions were the rationale behind the existing LUO. Number one, completely wrong. Number two, partially true. And 3, 4, and 5, irrelevant in regard to establishing proper regulations. These were completely overlooked for doing proper regulation when we were originally drawing this up. And I think a lot of other towns have done exactly the same thing. They're small, so it's no big deal. Conclusion is much more stringent regulation is warranted. Sound and setback standards will be modeled more closely after the ones for large wind energy systems. But then, a full sound study is required for large wind energy systems costing tens of thousands of dollars would effectively be an outright prohibition and would be in complete opposition to the planning board's stated principles. A compromise where a sound study is not required, but all of the sound standards will be enforced, appears to be a satisfactory solution. To obtain a permit, an applicant will have to demonstrate probable compliance with sound standards and/or mitigation waivers. However, if complaints are brought before the CEO or planning board, the ordinance will be enforced. The risk will be placed on the applicant. You have a choice, basically, of putting in conditions that effectively ban them or tell somebody, make sure yours is not going to bother your neighbors. It's your problem. You want to bring up those other two?
Bruce,
Yes.
want to sit over here so we can talk to Eric at the same time?
Yeah, one of those two PDFs. Did you hear any of that, Eric?
I heard parts of it.
Basically, I was just reading off that, the conclusions that I had drawn up. You want to bring up those PDFs just to show people here?
Where are they?
Right here and then right there.
Okay.
Keep coming down on it.
Where do you want me to go?
Keep going down. Okay. Keep going down to where it shows the acoustical test data. This is showing the distances. Let's see. This one shows the distance. No, it actually shows the distances. At distance from turbine required, you get your sound power level from this little 10 kilowatt residential unit down to 35 dB. Wow. 1,181 feet. So plain fact is, maybe encouraging these for residences is not a good idea, which has been pretty much what a lot of people have assumed.
So Bruce, the question is, I think that, we're talking about the ones that are over 10 kW, that middle range from 10 kW up to 100, is that correct?
That particular standard was just for one. It's one of the most popular models out there sold for homes. And that's a present unit that's being sold.
Well, right, but as far as the size, let's try to get my head around the size.
10 kilowatt. That would be at a speed of about 20 or 21 miles per hour wind. You need to get that 10 kilowatt output.
Okay. So you're ready to propose the standard and I'll get it posted on the site.
This
So
one
we'll
here,
be there next week, we can talk about that in a little bit more detail.
right. This one here is the, okay, I'm trying to remember who did this. National Renewable Energy Laboratory, National Wind Technology Center. This is a test of several different turbines, showing how loud they are. These are all small units. And they go into all the procedures they went through, pictures of the different ones. And when you get down to the really important part of the tables, this is showing how loud these are compared to the background noise. The background noise is in red, whoops. And the turbine noise is in purple. And the green ones are if you disconnect the load off the turbine, it even gets louder, and that's because these are stall regulated turbines. Your small ones do not have pitch controls. What's that?
What page is that on? On the
Of page 9 of, let's see,
14.
NREL technical paper, small wind turbine noise, PDF.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So what you're looking at, this one here, this is just one of them, the Berkeley XLS. Here is with the new airfoils, which are supposed to be quieter. This is the model they're presently selling. Again, here's your background sound. Look at how much louder the turbine sound is. And again, if you take it offline, disconnect it, it's stall regulated and sound goes through the roof. This one is, now, these are different ones. This one here is one, different brand. It's a small turbine, same thing. If the thing is, this one is a type of stall regulation, and when you have really high winds, the sound again goes through the roof. Heaven help your neighbors. Let's see. This one actually isn't as bad. This one has been designed to be as quiet as possible. This one you might actually be able to have near your neighbors without it driving them nuts.
So now, have you seen that one on the Pond Road in Bennington?
No, I haven't.
They've got a small one out.
Yep, I'd have to take a look at that one.
It is on this way, 40.
Yeah. No, not down there.
And then I'm down to the Berkeley XL1, but this is a really little one. But notice this really little one, you're not going to power a house with it. It's a 1 kilowatt unit.
The garage. Running a little electric driven.
Yeah. Now you get into, oh, this one here is actually a fairly good one. The Southwest Wind Power. Notice that in general, it's very close to the background sound. Again, this one might pass muster. But now we get into larger ones. This is a 50 kilowatt, which is a size that perhaps a small business would put up. The Atlantic Orient Corporation AOC 1550. This one here, here's your background sound down at, when they did the measurements, 35 to 40. It's putting out 60 to 65, 67. This would drive everybody within a half mile crazy. This is for a
Okay, Bruce.
100
Okay,
kilowatt.
this is 60 dBA at where? At the MSL?
No, this was, I'd have to go back up and read the descriptions. This is at a certain distance from the turbine. The power levels, these are measured at a distance from it. In most cases, I believe, if I read this up here, they were using the, I don't know, I'm not going to say what the distances were. I'd have to go up here and actually read them. It's all in the distances they were measuring this at is somewhere up here in the print.
Well, that says 42, slant distance was 42 meters.
Yeah, that's the 100 kilowatt one.
Well, they're probably measured closer because the assumption being that if it's a residential style turbine, you're not gonna have that much room for setbacks.
Yeah, but what it amounts to is it turns out they're a lot more noisy than we had thought, and exempting them from more serious regulation was a mistake. So I've already started writing a few changes to that, which we'll present. Trying to, without actually banning them, at least make them subject to basically the same regulations as the large ones as far as neighbors are concerned. So that's it for answering Mr. True's questions. It was a good question. And it actually pointed up another area where we've had a deficiency.
21 mile an hour wind, you wouldn't have that.
No.
Okay. I think the next set of questions will go to the website. I believe the next set of questions will go by Jessica Gray.
Yeah, I've got those on another thing, and I lost the, where's my little thumb drive here?
have it on your phone drive, or you just forward it to the Clifton planning board site.
Okay, I typed her questions in and then made up answers for each one. There's a lot of print here, so I'm going to ask people to sort of read down through them. It basically changes, to paraphrase. In most cases, we have tightened the standards.
Bruce, has Eric found this? Is he there also with you?
Eric, do you have the answers for Jessica with you?
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up right now. I have a slow computer here. Okay, so now I guess the first question is, will you explain those changes? What changes? Is that what we're starting, Bruce?
Yes. Within 4,000 feet, the LEQA hourly has been lowered from 55 dBA to 50 dBA. The DVC minus dBA standard has been eliminated since it's superfluous because any sensitive receptor in this area would have to have a mitigation waiver anyway. Beyond 4,000 feet, the daytime LEQA hourly has been lowered from 50 dBA to 40 dBA, the same as at night. The DVC minus dBA standard has been replaced with a fixed 55 dBc. The reason for this is that at very low sound levels actually occurring at these longer distances, less than 30 dBA or 40 dBc, our sound consultant indicated it would be difficult or even impossible to actually measure for compliance versus background sound levels. The demonstration that I'll do next week will show why this is. Basically, you can't separate the sounds at these levels from the background.
And Bruce, I might add that that was proven when we went up to Mars Hill.
Yeah, it was. I wish other people were up looking at that. The definition of L90A pre-plus, in one section is +5, in one section is +10, has been clarified to remove ambiguity. The old tonal penalty standard using IEC 61400-11 has been replaced with ISO 1996-2 2007 Annex D. The IEC standard itself states that it only applies at the distance being measured, approximately 450 feet from a large turbine, and was being misused when applied at longer distances. Sound study protocols have been changed to reflect the realities of real-world conditions. Incompatible and ambiguous requirements have been eliminated or clarified as much as possible. The original predictive study asked for predictions no present computer model can do. The use of a 7-inch windscreen to extend the range of valid data is now mandated. That will be demonstrated next week, about how much difference it makes.
Apparently that 7-inch windscreen, from looking over various regulations around the world, that's kind of a big deal for determining compliance and everything else. I mean, the windscreen is important.
Yeah, it is, because in the real world, it's difficult to get always wind speeds it is difficult to get wind speeds at the site you're doing the measurements below 4.5 miles per hour. The turbine is actually getting enough wind to run at full power. The 7-inch windscreen allows you to expand that to approximately 6 miles per hour, gives you a lot more valid readings.